Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. And what we've got here is technically a fucking nightmare. The wiring on this is a pain in the arse, I swear to God. But we're getting there. I just want to disconnect the plug before I show you the problem that we do have. So, right, and if I take this around here, I can switch it on. Right, so obviously that's, you can see that's on. And you can see the back wheel, so we know that the way that works. And if I press the back light, we have brake lights on both. If I can get that from on both. Yeah, on both two lights. We've also got indicators. There you go, both sides. Off, on, off, on. Brake lights on both front and back. So we're getting there. Now, the problem we have got is I'm beginning to think that the switch for the headlights and the rear light could be wired up wrong. Because for some reason the switch wire, if I take you down here, the switch wire, let's just get that. This is your switch wire that picks up this wire here, that goes to your headlight. You see it there now? So that is your headlight. That's your headlight wire, which comes to there. That then loops up into that wire, comes down your switch wire, which is to that switch on the handlebars. But it seems like it's on a permanent on position. Even if you turn it off at the switch, it's still on. This wire here, if I plug that into that plug there, these lights come on. The back light comes on, and that light. In fact, I'll plug it in and show you. Right. So what we've got now is the back light on. We've also got these lights on, both sides. As you can see the other side of it if you look underneath. But we've got no headlight lit up. Obviously that one's on, and we've still got brake lights, and we've got no horn because that's all linked up with the headlight, which is why I'm thinking there's a fault. We've still got indicators, both sides. So I'm thinking, because if I turn this switch here, this is your switch for your headlights, doesn't make any difference. Doesn't turn them off. So, and you can't cross the wires on that loom. And the reason I say that is because if you try and change the switch wires over to different outlets, on the speedometer display it comes up as error E10. So that tells you can't. So as far as I'm concerned, all of that harness there is wired up correct, because we're getting everything we need, except we've got no headlight, we've got no horn. And as far as I can work out, the horn is built into the headlight. So if that switch is wired wrong, or there's a fault with that switch, that will stop the horn and the headlight from working. Because we've got 47 volts coming out of the switch to feed this side strip here and that backlight there. And the indicators, they work on a separate switch mode, so you can't go wrong with that. That's nothing to do with the headlights or the rear light. Same as the brake lights, that's different, it's on a different circuit. So it's going to be a case of either making a switch separate, or we can tap into that switch maybe and rewire it somehow to compensate, so we can make a switching unit, loop it up to these wires here and then back to the headlight and do it that way if need be. Or if we take the switch apart, we take the headlight apart, we might be able to find the fault inside the headlight or the switch. As far as I'm thinking, that is that end, it's the switching end, it's the headlight end. It's not, the wiring is what it is, and the wiring is wired. Everything's doing what it should. And like I said, if you try and cross wires, it comes up, it starts shorting out. You're at risk of damaging the battery. We don't want to do that. It does tell you there's an error every time you try and plug and play. It'll come up error. But when I put my meter across the actual switch, when I put it across the switch for the brake light and I press one of the brake levers, the voltage comes up through my meter, which tells me obviously it works anyway. When I put my meter across the switch for the headlights to turn the headlight off and on, then we're getting permanent flow. It's not cutting off. It should do, but it's not. And the wire, there's 3 wires that go to the headlight. One of them is your switch wire, and the switch wire is wired up. That is going back through the loop. It's doing what it should. Everything technically is doing what it should. Apart from we've got no headlight, and we can't turn it off and on at the main switch. But we're getting there. It's big progress. I mean, he had nothing at first. There was no lights, no indicators. He had nothing. But yeah, we're getting there. Anyway, what else? Was there anything else? But I swear to God, mate, I've been on this for hours and it's a fucking nightmare. Rattling my brains. I've got loads of where I've had to make my own fucking little sketches and remember what wires did what, and loads of writing down, loads of testing, making sure I didn't cross voltages. That I didn't want to give a permanent short to the battery because they're very expensive. And you can't risk shorting out the control unit. You can't do that. So everything had to be tested, measured, inputs, outputs. Yeah, and everything, as far as I'm concerned, is wired correct now. I'm getting everything where it should be. I'm getting voltage where it should be. But I'm not getting nothing from that. Why I'm getting a permanent feed, but that switch to me isn't working. Or it could be the fault could be in the headlight that's stopping the switch from work, that's causing a direct short, which won't bother anything else. Because if you get a direct short on a switch, it's going to be permanently on or permanently off. If it opens circuit, it's going to be permanently off. If you switch direct shorts, it just means whatever's receiving the contact from that switch is going to be permanently on. So technically you can't damage nothing by having that. But the thing is, you do need to switch because you don't want to be riding around all day with your fucking